So it's been some time since I last posted a devlog on Cave Story to Desolate, and this one isn't going to be up to date exactly because I wanted to delay the video and talk about the changes I had made after Sage 2023, but now I'm realizing that it probably would have been more convenient to talk about it then rather than now. This video will not be covering any feedback or specifics of that event, so I'll just be talking about what happened before. Anyways, the changes are as follows. I fixed some bugs that I can't exactly recall, that's off to a great start. But in this devlog, I added the sand zone, the next area you're supposed to go to. In the beta footage, we can see what it looked like and what enemies were present. In some other remakes, it's assumed that the statues placed throughout relate to opening different blue blockades. We can also see wind tiles that push the player in a direction. With this, we can get an idea for the level design principles for the sand zone. When making the level, I had an idea of how I wanted to structure the level, and the puzzle element of interacting with these pillars to remove the blockades was very linear, although I'm fine with that current implementation. This is actually a first part to the entirety of the sand zone, so the principles for the sand zone's level design will be properly demonstrated in the second part of it. My addition to the theme of the level was to add furniture to complement the dormant enemies such as the cat spirits and red salamanders, with such decor as futons, tables, cups, and wooden structures. However, I've decided to rework these aspects into another theme, which I'll discuss in a future devlog. My reasoning for changing this was specifically because the assets were not really in line with the quality I was hoping for, and I wasn't looking to redo them either, so this is why I've decided to go with a completely different theme. Let's also talk about the enemies featured in the sand zone. The cat spirit is a floating enemy that can pass through blocks. It will slowly follow the player when in proximity, and the flames surrounding it will hurl towards the player upon death. The enemy itself is not that difficult to fight, but with the level design, it adds a new level of difficulty to this enemy. The red salamander is a simple enemy that jumps towards the player if in proximity, not very dangerous. The small crocodile is an enemy designed from concepts of the game. The inclusion was inspired by Vazashi's remake, and in that way it is somewhat similar. In my implementation, the enemy will walk around and will be provoked if you're in its proximity. If you hit it, it will start chasing you down forever until you kill it. And the other small crocodile is a jumping one that can be freed from eggs that lay around the level. When you break one, multiple will be freed out and you will have to deal with them. Those are the new enemies. For weapons, I added a PX energy cannon and shotgun, both of which will be reworked in the next devlog, but regardless, I'll speak on what they do. The PX energy cannon is an upgraded version of the energy cannon that can be found in the sand zone. When you're holding the energy cannon, you can go to the sand zone and open a chest hidden in the sand, which will give you the weapon. It has twice the amount of ammunition, higher damage, and can go through walls. When looking back on this weapon, however, I feel that it was too unpolished, so I will redo both the energy cannon and this PX variant to be more unique. As for the shotgun, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's unlockable at the first arms vendor and is a slow, high damage weapon. It's not bad, however, I feel that it is not satisfying enough to use and is not as good or equivalent to the fireball pistol, and so I'll rework it. For some things that I fixed, I changed the rocket's collision from being solely an area 2D to a character body 2D, which seems to provide more accurate and less frustrating collisions, which is important for the rocket launcher. I also redid the inventory gun display to make sure that it will be good when adding new weapons, fixed the load screen, fixed a bug with a red wall in the second poo boss, and added some continuity for the third poo boss, although I will be reworking this. And finally, I fixed some inventory issues and a bug that allowed you to carry multiple small keys. For the central, I added some more NPCs, rockets that take you up to new areas, which I'll rework, and some more rooms. Listing off the last changes, I tweaked the glass shard sprites since in earlier builds, they confused some playtesters into thinking they were spikes, and they look too noisy. I think this version makes them look right, and I changed the soup bubble sound. The last thing is that I added a room and changed the intro for my Sage 2023 submission. With all of this, I managed to submit the fan game for Sage 2023 successfully and in comfortable time. I'll talk more about Sage 2023 in the next video, but for now, enjoy some gameplay footage. Actually, don't enjoy the gameplay footage just yet. I forgot to mention this, but I also added a Mimiga boss that serves as a boss in between the first and second parts of the sand zone. I had to do a lot of tweaking to make sure this boss's difficulty was right, but I'll end up tweaking it further in the next devlog. Alright, that's it. Now enjoy the footage.